She's going to let it fly, and she's going to connect! Oh, Caitlin!
Clark major deal. Instant rage hits WNBA after LPGA embraces Caitlin Clark and announces major endorsements. The LPGA's recent decision to invite rising basketball star Caitlin Clark to participate in a special event has sparked a wave of excitement in the golfing world, but the reaction from the WNBA has been anything but warm. While the LPGA openly celebrated Clark's presence, recognizing the immense value she brings in attracting new, younger fans to women's golf, the WNBA's response has been one of frustration and skepticism. It's a surprising contrast that reveals a deeper rift between the two leagues. The LPGA understood the potential benefits of welcoming Clark, a charismatic and popular athlete who could serve as a conduit to introduce their sport to a whole new audience. The atmosphere at the LPGA event was electric, with fans eager to catch a glimpse of Clark and engage with the sport. LPGA stars like Nelly Korda praised Clark, viewing her as an ally who could help elevate women's sports as a whole. In stark contrast, the WNBA's reaction has been decidedly more defensive. Some within the league have expressed concerns that Clark's rising popularity is pulling focus away from the WNBA's own established stars. There's a sense that the WNBA sees Clark's fan base as an intrusion, rather than an opportunity to grow their own reach and exposure. This differing approach speaks to a fundamental difference in mindset. The LPGA recognized that adapting to changing times and embracing new avenues for fan engagement was essential for the growth of their sport. They weren't afraid to take a risk and collaborate with a crossover star like Clark, understanding that expanding their fan base would ultimately benefit everyone. The WNBA, on the other hand, appears to be taking a more protective stance, perhaps feeling threatened by Clark's popularity and worried about maintaining the status quo. In trying to keep their focus narrowly on their own league and players, they may be missing out on a chance to build a wider, more engaged fan base. After all, modern sports fans are increasingly looking for dynamic stories, personalities, and connections between leagues. By shutting out someone like Caitlin Clark, the WNBA risks appearing out of touch with what today's audience desires: unity, collaboration, and a sense of community across women's sports. Clark herself has repeatedly emphasized her respect and enthusiasm for women's sports as a whole, suggesting she could be an invaluable asset in promoting the success of all female athletes. Imagine if the WNBA had harnessed that passion, rather than brushing it aside. The LPGA's approach offers a blueprint for how other leagues can adapt and thrive in the evolving sports landscape. By welcoming Clark and capitalizing on her cross-sport appeal, they've set themselves up to attract and retain new fans in the long run. The WNBA, on the other hand, may be missing a crucial opportunity by not fully embracing Clark's influence. As Caitlin Clark's star continues to rise, the divide between the LPGA and WNBA's handling of her popularity will likely become more pronounced. The LPGA's collaborative model could lead to broader unity and shared promotion across women's sports, while the WNBA's hesitance may ultimately limit its own reach. In the end, the WNBA's response has exposed an underlying tension that goes beyond just one player or one league. It's about the future of women's sports as a unified force, and whether leagues are willing to adapt and embrace the changing tides, or risk being left behind.